a year off from working on the punch bag. Here we are, taking it down, uncovering it, and start my easy workout. Today I'm going to talk about working on a punch bag. Now, quite often mistakes are made, even for advanced boxers. After a long layoff, you go back and you start hitting the bag, you hit it a bit too hard. And quite often you hear people say you should punch through the target. It's okay, that mental cue is good when you're at quite a high fitness level. To initially, what you want to do is to focus on form and good rhythm, because that power will come at a precise point where you need it. You know, it's different from when you watch people punching great big stones, slabs, or blocks of ice. These are very, very powerful punches, but that's not the same kind of power you want to develop when it comes to combat use, or in self-defense, or in sports combat. And if you think about when you're working on weights, you know, if you start, let's say, doing a bicep curl, you start lifting the weights. If it's too heavy for you, you'll lose form, you'll start compensating, losing technique, and you exhaust yourself. And punching the bag is not about building muscles, it's not bodybuilding, and it's not really about fitness. It's about transferring force efficiently from your own fists or your feet, or wherever you want, whichever parts of the body you want. Transfer that force efficiently so it doesn't need to use unnecessary energy to produce that force and to make it accelerate. And when it impacts a target, is to learn how to contract quickly, and again without leaking any or leaking any force, or using excessive muscle contraction when you start colliding onto a target. Some people try too hard, so when they're emotional punches, let's say in a street fight, you get so worked up you end up throwing your heaviest shot. It's okay if you land, fine, perfect, but if you don't, you'll go off balance and you expose yourself to other risks and dangers. So whenever I do light or warm-up workout, I like to do it bare fist, because it helps to build up the density of the bones, and in a street situation you are going to hit bare knuckles anyway, but for the purpose of high volume training, then I would definitely recommend wearing gloves. Okay, so punching a light bag, so that is the amount of force. That's a efficient transfer of force. If I start going like this, although it's harder, but it's not efficient. So I'm going like this, generate a lot of force. It takes a lot more time to recover. And for going back into training immediately after a long layoff, that's not an efficient way of training. So you want technique and rhythm, bang, bang, bang. So you recover, strike, 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 strike. So there, that is about as hard as I feel I can transfer the force efficiently. So it's very little effort, and it's almost like a dance. I'm using a side punch for this bag workout. Now the side punch is a very quick, flicky sort of movement. So if you try to punch hard, this will go wrong for you. So the purpose of this is to flick it out to set your opponent up, either flick the punch to the face or into the groin area before you punch your groin harder. Here I'm using hooks onto the bag. Now the sensation or the mindfulness I'm trying to work on is a rotation of the trunk, and using very little muscular contraction of the arms, unless and until I actually hit the bag. So the momentum is generated by the rotation of my trunk and my stance. Now this is making bag work a bit more fun. Imagining the two opponents beside me. So I nudge one closest to me and then punch the other one on the other side, mimicking two attackers beside me. I'm adding a different combination to this multiple bag work. Facing an opponent in front of me, long range with a 1-2, and then the one behind me is a short range with my rear elbow strike. Here I'm using a double punch or a treble punch with the same arm, using a side punch and a straight punch. Now again, utilising two punch bags and making it more fun, more applicable for street self-defense. Now here's a different method of transfer of force without recovery. So if I'm doing a stiff jab, none of the force is leaked by the elbow bending or the wrist bending or the shoulder bending. Okay, so just enough force, even at short distance, you can still perform a rigid step punch. In this video, I'm showing the ability to use a stiff straight punch, or what you call a jab, and follow through with an elbow strike. Now, the first movement could be a punch, or it could simply be a guard disguised as a punch.